I know speak English.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Spin Rack. I'm here with my boys PD and Cal. Say what's up, gents.
What's going on?
Hey, ready to rock.
Okay, so the selector brought this article here about Rogue's Batgirl, somewhere in the Savage Land. But basically, what it is that she's hooking up with Magneto. That's causing a whole bunch of consternation in the interwebs. Yo, PD, tell us a little bit more about this. What's your take on all this?
Well, it's called Rogue, the Savage Land. It's gonna,
What did I
I'm
say?
sorry. No, no, that title is just so funny with the backstory that you know. Rogue, the Savage Land. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we know what savaging is going on. Savaging that
so,
ass.
in this story, it takes place when Rogue finds herself in the Savage Land with Magneto. Magneto cures her because her other half was turned bad. The what was it? The Cal Danvers psyche in her was turned bad by the what's it, what's that guy? The Shadow King. But at the
Uh-huh.
same time, in this storyline, Magneto's cured her. She doesn't have her powers initially, and this is the first time, which came out of total left field, that Magneto and Rogue had a connection since they were since Jim Lee started drawing her. No, since I'm sorry to say that Rogue has gone from a matronly woman initially to very cute by Paul Smith to having a great body by John Romita Jr. to total babe by Mark Silvestri. And then Jim Lee took it to the nth level. She got even younger. She looked like she could actually be 17 at this point, where she never did under most artists artist byline that actually drew her from those periods. So this is a period where she is doesn't have her power for a short portion of this period. By the time Shield gets there, her powers start to come back, but she survives on her own for a period in the Savage Land with no powers. Then Magneto comes, then Shield comes, and then they're saying the Russians come. The Russians are part of the Shield thing where they kind of want to take out Magneto, and this romance is happening. So they're going to take what was a couple of moments of them looking at each other, feeling a connection, and turning it into a whole long storyline or a mini series of how they probably hooked up many a times when we didn't see them. And we also have Kazar, who's going to be there, and Zabu, but at the same time, Sheena is taken by the mutates. So there's also the mutates running. I'm not sure how they're going to factor in there, but they were worse than Magneto at this period. And they have a history where they were Magneto's creation, and they're also Magneto's slaves. So they went against them. It's obedience or death. Now, it was under Chris Claremont's byline. He kept the thread that Magneto, to his brotherhood, was very evil towards them. He required total obedience. So we have all this set up. So with me saying that, even though it was a couple moments, there's a lot of backdrop for story. So that's as much as I can give you on this. In the Savage Land.
That is, that I know the story you're talking about. It's with that Jim Lee cover where Rogue is in the like the jungle bikini.
Yep.
Because I put it up for sale a couple of times, and I never understood the appeal to it other than people like the cover. So there's a little bit of stuff going on there in that particular story, but they're just taking that little bit. And now we got 4 issues.
Well,
We
who
got,
is
we
it?
got four
X Men
issues based
'97.
on.
The storyline X Men '97 has just been driving people nuts, and so I guess because of that, people are like Marvel trying to
Yeah, but
capitalize on it and
that
make
didn't
some
take
money.
place in this. That didn't take place in the Savage Land. That was
You-
Rogue going to his. That was Rogue going to Magneto's Meteor Villa or mansion or what have you, and they found out. Oh, wait a second! I can actually touch somebody, and since you're the only person I can touch, we might as well have sex.
No, I think it was a Savage Land. It makes
No, in the
sense.
Savage Land, there's only you don't. There's a gap. It seems like because they were doing multiple issues and they had a crossover to do. In two, they're putting the timeline here from 269 to 275, right? And that is the period. But when Magneto fixes Rogue, there's a dramatic shot of Magneto saying, "I chose you," right? By Jim Lee is a great shot. the next issues are Extinction Agenda. So it's this oldest crossover. So when the crossover is over, we have a Jam issue, and then we get back to in between the X-Men going into space. We almost go right back to the moment where we last saw that, where Rogue is in the Savage Land, and she's wondering why she doesn't have her. Because before, when she was on there, she had her powers. Now she doesn't have her powers, and in my mind, even though it doesn't allow you to do some cool fight scenes with her, I always felt she got Carol Danvers' powers the wrong way. Maybe I would rather those powers be gotten rid of, and then she would have a little more of an edge to her to do stuff, where she'd have to steal people's powers to do things, where she's now this nice person. She's not the person she was before, and she doesn't have these powers she can fall back on that she got them from ill-gotten gains. But
that's the best part of the story, Pete, that she did
But-
get it from ill-gotten gains.
But at the same time, she's going around there like she's the best hero ever. I
now she's changed.
I tried to kill Dazzler. Now I just saved Dazzler. I tried to kill this person.
Isn't that the
Carol
whole thing?
Danvers.
Isn't that the whole thing? The redemption, the bad guys.
Get out of here. We don't let
If you
criminals
can
do
redeem
that.
Magneto, you
We
can
don't
redeem
let-
almost anybody.
We can't redeem Magneto. We just like him.
Well,
He's
he's been
redeemable.
redeemed so many times. It's ridiculous. Cal agrees with me, so don't even worry. It's 2 against
It's not
1.
redeemed. You're just accepting those other storylines. It's okay.
No, I don't. I don't agree
Thank
with
you,
you.
Cal. Thank you, Cal.
Magneto has never been redeemed. They just at some point the writers, I mean, really is on the writing aspect too, because most of them shy away from the Paladin type characters. They don't want to write like a Cap or a Superman, and if they do, they want to make them somehow. They got to make them dark. Like, okay, well, for my story, Superman gets affected by red kryptonite and goes evil. So they rather a Magneto type character if they can bring him, like, make him neutral, and then of course they're going to revert to him evil as well with a little bit of time. Or worse, they love having the story where the evil guy is right. They love that one. Magneto's like, what we need to do? We need to round up these humans, kill all of them because they're going to kill us first. And, Xavier's like, no, that's terrible. We can't do that. And then the humans do something that, to show Magneto has a point. He's like, see? So they love doing those type of stories at the end of the day because, you can't do that with Xavier. Xavier's a paladin. Okay, he's going to do what's right. These guys over here find that boring. So that's how we get this stuff. So Magneto gets pushed to the forefront, and then they have to manipulate the whole scenario up to the scenery in order for it to make sense, because he's still, they don't want to lose him as a villain. He's still a villain at the end of the day. He's not supposed to be at the X-Mansion chilling out, having, egg in a basket. And then, the next thing you know, he's fighting them. But
Right.
Because of that, we get these type of stories that, to be quite honest, a lot of times these things are just off kilter with where these characters are supposed to be.
I would also add into that is the when I've always liked Magneto, and I think Byrne also pointed this out, is that when Chris Claremont was first taking on Magneto, he looked at it as dealing with the entire electromagnetic spectrum. So he could, like the static electricity in the Beast, the utilizing not just stuff that had metal, using the electromagnetic spectrum and basic control over metal. So he had done so many vast creative things with Magneto. At the same time, when he got to his third story and made him into like this guy who, half good, half bad, and more noble Magneto, at the same time, what happened? And why we got this story of them in the Savage Land? At some point, he realized he needed another Magneto. So he took, Lorna Dane, Polaris, and say, all right, we're going to mind control you. You're now, and do all the cool stuff Magneto does with this female villain, which is irredeemable, when Magneto was one point irredeemable to most people, and then later on, Zaladane took it away, and she was even worse. And her thing in this storyline, if she shows up, is to kill Magneto. So the other problem with the story is we know how it ends. We know Magneto goes bad. So how do you add story beats to a story where we already know the end is there? Will they try to figure out a new thing? Or maybe after the storyline, just like in Marvel 97, Rogue slips away from the X-Men and goes to Asteroid M and gets it on. Then she goes back to the X-Men and say, I don't know. I just had to, I went shopping.
I mean, but this is really more of a money grab, right? Is that what we're saying?
I don't know if it is a money grab, but maybe there's some interest here.
What, I mean,
I wouldn't immediately say that this is. I'm saying they're drawing from stuff, but it's not a surefire. It's not the '90s.
I don't think it's surefire, but I think that they are taking advantage of what happened in '97. They're like, hey, let's explore more of this and give people what they want, and I think that's what's happening.
Well, I think they also hadn't. They showed them as a couple in Age of Apocalypse, but we didn't get to see the romance portion of it. So this will, if you need that gap to be filled, pause or excuse my language, you can do it there in this storyline.
Got it. So hey, let's wrap this up. Cal, any final words?
Yeah, they took it too far.
Huh?
I said they took it too far with Magneto.
Yep, the all-powerful Magneto. Hey, if you any words, last words from you, Cal, PD?
From the picture that they have, we got this artist that looks a little Jim Lee, a little Andy Kubert. I'd like to see if it holds up page to page. They've been slipping in some artists in here at Marvel. Let's see how it goes.
You're crazy. All right, so Spinner Rack.
We're out.
Out.